Hey friends, Dave Burkus here. Welcome back to the Daily Burk. Today we are talking about digital detoxes. I'm sure you've seen these. You've probably thought about taking one yourself. And so today we're answering the question, do you need a digital detox? Do you need to spend some time away from this thing? Do you need to fast from things like social media, email, etc.? And I get this question actually a lot because of writing under new management, talking about companies that are putting restrictions on things like email after hours or email entirely. And my answer to this question is always a little bit unexpected, which is no. No, you don't need a digital detox, right? In the short term, it might make you feel better. I mean, we are kind of, by some accounts, addicted to the little dopamine rush of having a new social media hit, etc., getting a new email, what have you. And so breaking that addiction for a few days and seeing what life is like without it, a lot of times, yes, you'll feel better in the short term. In the long term, though, you're probably just gonna come back to your phone and resume those same habits. So no, you don't need a digital detox. Just like if you're thinking about like, oh, how do I lose weight? I'm gonna change my relationship with food. I'm gonna not eat for 3 days. Yeah, you might actually lose some weight and then you go right back to the food. In both cases, what you actually need are limits and new norms on how you use it. And so in the case of your phone, I'm not gonna give you any dieting advice. In the case of your phone, it's a question of how are you using the device and what limits do you need to set? Do you need to go to a 2-device strategy like I've talked about in prior episodes of the Daily Burk? Do you need to set restrictions on, even your internet access? One of my good friends sets up his Wi-Fi router to a light timer, like a Christmas light timer, so that at a certain point every day, the Wi-Fi goes out and they're done with the internet. Or do you just need to reevaluate which social media networks you're on, how often you're replying to certain messages? Do you need to reevaluate how you're using the tools? That is what you need. If you feel overwhelmed by the technology that is in your hand, the solution isn't to throw it away for a few days and then come back to it and do the same thing. The solution is to think about how am I using the device and what habits do I need to change? Crash diets don't work. What does work is changing how you eat and your relationship with food. The same thing with your phone. Fasting it for 3 days is not gonna work in the long term. Changing your habits on how you use it, that's gonna lead to less stress and more productivity in the long term. Thanks so much for watching this episode of The Daily Burk. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you set limits on your digital devices. And if you don't, let me know how you're gonna moving forward. And while you're there leaving that comment, make sure you are followed or subscribed to the show on whatever network you're watching this on. We're posting new episodes every single weekday designed to help you do your best work ever, and you're not gonna wanna miss them. And speaking of your best work ever, we'll put a link below to a wonderful page on my site, davidburkus.com/resources, where you can get all sorts of resources in line with this and with the other books I've written and the subjects that I speak on. Thank you again so much for watching The Daily Burk.